We are your local election headquarters. Big news out of the capital city today. The Arkansas Supreme Court announces that votes for the term limits issue on the November ballot won't be counted. KRK4's Jesse Tenor joins us now in the studio with the justice's decision. Jesse?
Yeah, Ashley, we now know the fate of all 5 ballot issues right before early voting starts on Monday. Now, Issue 3 would have limited the Arkansas legislature to 2 4-year terms in the Senate and 3 2-year terms in the House. The total cap would have been 10 years in office, and then in 2014, Arkansans voted to loosen state lawmakers' term limits and allow a total of 16 years in the House or Senate, or a combination of the two. The campaign in support of Issue 3 has been the most critical of this 2014 amendment, calling it a sabotage.
As the Democrat Gazette said earlier, that it was the outrage of the year and it was manifest fraud what the legislature did in 2014, and now those same forces are working against the Arkansas voter, remedying that situation.
We felt like that there was the signature collections were done in a sloppy way. I know the master that looked at the process found 14,000 signatures that should have been thrown off, and so we appreciate the Supreme Court's looking at it and doing their due diligence.
Under the state's current limits, some lawmakers will be in office longer than those 16 years if they serve partial terms due to redistricting or a special election. Now, the Supreme Court also ruled this week to X tort reform. That's Issue 1. So it will still be on the ballot like term limits, but since the ballots have already been printed, but the votes just won't count. Now, there are still some issues that you want to keep an eye on for the election. The state's highest court did rule to keep casinos and minimum wage on the ballot. So Issue 4 would authorize 4 casinos and sports betting here in Arkansas, and then Issue 5 would increase the state's minimum wage to $11 an hour by 2021. Now, out of the 5 ballot issues, the only one not challenged was Issue 2, and that's voter ID. State law already requests voters to show an ID at the polls, but this measure would strengthen the law by changing the Arkansas Constitution. So definitely a lot of movement this week. So to wrap it all up on what you will see on the ballot starting on Monday is all 5 issues, but only your votes on voter ID, casinos, and minimum wage will count. Now, for all of the ballot issue and coverage of our candidate interviews from this week, you can go to krk.com. Ashley?